I think you'll like it. Details coming up with your 7-day planner. Mike?
Talk to you then, Tom. Well, here's a question. When is city business conducted with, say, a handshake or just a gentleman's agreement? Apparently, when it involves a liquor license and a project that the mayor of Harrisburg is a part of.
Yeah, for the past few months now, CBS 21 News has continued its investigation into the National Sports Hall of Fame in Harrisburg. And we have found yet another contradiction. CBS 21 News Sports Director Jason Bristol, he's been leading this investigation. He joins us now live with what he found out. Jason.
Well, back in November, we discovered Harrisburg Mayor Steven Reed gave a liquor license to the National Sports Hall of Fame. Later, he told me the city would receive at least $70,000 for it. But now we've discovered new paperwork that seems to show the National Sports Hall of Fame Foundation never had any intention of paying the city back.
When CBS 21 News first uncovered that the city of Harrisburg gave the National Sports Hall of Fame a liquor license,
you could say it was gift wrapped. It appears to be a present from the city of Harrisburg.
Harrisburg City Council had a lot to say.
Shouldn't we be selling it?
That is unethical, and I am deeply troubled, and calls into question a serious investigation.
Mayor Steven Reed later said there was nothing to investigate, that everything was on the up and up. But we couldn't find any signed contracts between the city and the Hall of Fame guaranteeing the city would be paid.
Shouldn't that be, there be some sort of agreement it's signed?
There is a complete understanding to that regard, and I expect it to be honored.
There was a city memo, though, stating the Hall of Fame Foundation should put the fair market value of the license on its books as owing to the city. But we've now discovered the Hall of Fame has done the exact opposite.
This box has 7 pounds of new information. There's a lot of stuff in here. This is from the USDA. It's a pre-application for a $25 million loan. It was filed on behalf of the city and the Hall of Fame, but the most telling documents are these financial statements.
This one lists the liquor license as an asset. In other words, it's owned by the National Sports Hall of Fame. And here's why. On another page, the liquor license is called a donated liquor license. So why is the license property of the Hall of Fame? And how could it be called donated when Mayor Reed said the city would be reimbursed? CBS 21 News emailed the head of the Hall of Fame Foundation, John Lavenda, looking for answers. We never heard back. So we decided to go to the city's public safety building, and we were directed to Mr. Lavenda's office. As you can see, he wasn't there. We found an empty room, except for a small bin for mail addressed to the Hall of Fame.
Now, I emailed the mayor's spokesman about all this, but did not hear back. There's also a new development in this liquor license case. The previous owner is claiming it's still hers and wants to sell it to pay off her debt, according to Linda Thompson, the president of City Council. Now, there was a federal bankruptcy proceeding on Wednesday. I was there. The city was granted more time, 60 days, to figure out who owns this license. The state's Liquor Control Board told me it's still assigned to the previous owner, even though it's in safekeeping. The city hasn't paid any fees on it. The owner is bankrupt, so the Hall of Fame must be paying on it. And that's a standard procedure in a situation like this. And to see our entire investigation, check out CBS21.com. Jason Bristol, CBS 21 News.
Thank you, Jason.
Design Road in
still lingers.
Yeah, what happened to all the money the National Sports Hall of Fame has raised until now?
CBS 21 News Sports Director Jason Bristol joins us live in the studio and has our story. Jason.
Well, before there were bobbleheads and a $150,000 donation from the new owner of the Harrisburg Senators, there was the mayor's 25th anniversary, a huge celebration at the Hilton Harrisburg honoring Steven Reed. And based on the video we're about to show you, it looks like everyone had a great time. And we'll make sure to tell the IRS that when we tell them what we found.
The mayor's 25th anniversary was more than a celebration. It was also a fundraiser for the National Sports Hall of Fame.
Also, I'd like to thank you all for coming.
CBS 21 News obtained this video from the city's public TV station. It shows heavy hitters there that night, like Attorney General Tom Corbett, former Governor Mark Schweiker, and the late Catherine Baker Knoll. Tickets to the event cost $150 each, and CBS 21 News political insider Charlie Giroux even bought one.
Kind of unaware that it was a fundraising event for the Sports Hall of Fame. I thought it was simply a tribute to the mayor. It didn't particularly bother me, but it wasn't something that I was looking for.
We went looking. We found newspaper articles, a flyer, and a press release from the city of Harrisburg, all saying the National Sports Hall of Fame put on that event. But there is one thing we couldn't find. We couldn't find it listed on the foundation's 2006 tax return. Special events should be listed right here on line 9, but as you can see, it's blank. So there's no way of knowing how much the mayor's 25th anniversary gala actually raised for the foundation.
We also went to the city looking for any other information regarding the event, and a right-to-know request produced thank you letters sent from John Lavenda, the head of the Hall of Fame Foundation, to the event's organizing committee. Lavenda writes the event raised more than $54,000. But it's very possible the gala didn't produce a penny. The foundation's tax return lists professional fundraising fees of $58,000. So if the foundation raised $54,000 and spent $58,000, that's a loss of more than $4,000. But again, there's no way of knowing based on this tax return. And whatever happened to the $54,000 raised that night? John Lavenda writes in the thank you letter, the money will be used for producing marketing materials, which will be used to secure corporate and private donations. Yet the following year, the foundation's 2007 tax return reports the Hall of Fame spent just $1,697 on marketing, a difference of $52,000. With a room full of people, the gala seemed to be a success.
When it was all said and done, I got a personal handwritten note from Mr. Lavenda thanking me for being there.
And Mr. Giroux should feel lucky that he has a memento. That's possibly more documentation than the IRS ever received.
Now, I spoke to 4 local CPAs and asked them to look over this 2006 tax return. I told them I wouldn't use their name or tell anyone where they worked. 3 of the 4 said yes, in their opinion, the gala should be noted on this tax return. You can read some of their thoughts on CBS21.com. Jason Bristol, CBS 21 News.
Thank you, Jason. And remember, you can see our entire investigation on CBS21.com.
Wildlife in that area.
Right now on CBS 21 News at 6.
The clock is ticking for the National Sports Hall of Fame. The new details CBS 21 News just uncovered. Plus, Post Office is making changes to cut back how it'll redirect you in the process. But first tonight, CBS 21 News is, of course, following this breaking news out of Harrisburg tonight. CBS 21 News has been investigating for months now whether the National Sports Hall of Fame in Harrisburg could ever be built. And tonight, there is word from the city that the project might be dropped. CBS 21's Jason Bristol is on City Island tonight, where the hall is supposed to be built, and brings us the very latest information. Jason.
Well, the National Sports Hall of Fame Foundation has received hundreds of thousands of dollars in government contributions, taxpayer money, loans, and private donations. And what does the city of Harrisburg have to show for it? I'll show you right here. A street sign. That's it. Sports Hall of Fame Drive here on City Island. This is where the National Sports Hall of Fame was supposed to be built. Now, this project is not dead yet, but it apparently was given its last rites today. The city of Harrisburg has confirmed with CBS 21 News that unless this project receives a major source of funding in the next couple of months, it will be dead. Major source of funding, we're talking not hundreds of thousands of dollars, presumably millions of dollars here to get this project going. Now, funding, again, is the reason here, not our CBS 21 News investigation. That's according to Matt Coulter, the spokesman for the city of Harrisburg. Now, we tried to speak with John Lavenda, the head of the National Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. I gave him a call for his reaction today. When John picked up, I identified myself, and he promptly hung up on me. Now, we weren't done there. We decided to go looking for Mr. Lavenda to get his side of the story. We went to his office at the Public Safety Building in Harrisburg. We were told we missed him by about 20 minutes. We also went to another office that Mr. Lavenda works from, and he was not there either. We were able to speak with the city of Harrisburg, and they again told us the city is not optimistic about this project moving forward.
Not real great. I mean, I couldn't put a percentage on it. It's not real great. You know, we're going to stick it out a few more months and see if something might come available. If it does, we would love to proceed with the project. But realistically, like I said, with the economy the way it is, it's pretty unrealistic that this will end up happening.
So the city once again has a street sign, but that's about it. Now, the city says that it will file some paperwork once this process is over to basically close the foundation. And again, the economy not just affecting this project. You look at the Sports Museum of America, a project that was much farther along, had a building, had agreements with sports organizations and Hall of Fames throughout the country. That project closed down just last month and now is up for sale. So once again, tough economy, but again, the sports business is not immune to all this, and now it looks as though the National Sports Hall of Fame will never happen here in Harrisburg. We're live on City Island. Jason Bristol, CBS 21 News.
All right, Jason, thank you. Well, when we asked for comment about this revelation, Les Ford, who is candidate for Harrisburg mayor and a very outspoken opponent of the National Sports Hall of Fame, quoted the singer Johnny Mathis and told CBS 21 News, "This is too much, too little, too late. It is over." He went on to say the decision to put a deadline on the project is, quote, politically motivated, and called the whole thing a sham. Well, CBS 21 News, of course, has been investigating this Sports Hall of Fame controversy for months now. For a complete look at our entire investigation, you can log on to CBS21News.com. And we are not done with this. We will continue to follow this story, stay on top of it for you, and we will have team coverage.
Well, tonight, CBS 21 News continues its award-winning investigation into the National Sports Hall of Fame, a project that's received hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars. And while Harrisburg Mayor Stephen Reed has said that this project is essentially dead, that hasn't stopped CBS 21 News Sports Director Jason Bristol from digging and finding out what happened to your tax dollars. Jason, what did you uncover this time?
Well, Mike, it's called a loan, and it really wasn't that hard to find. It's noted on every tax return the Hall of Fame Foundation has filed since 2005. But is it really a loan? We've discovered a huge chunk of public money used to see if the Hall of Fame was even worth building may never be seen again. CBS 21 News investigates. You can plant beautiful flowers for a couple of bucks, but if you want to build a Hall of Fame, you're going to need real seed money, like $100,000. That's how much the city's redevelopment authority loaned the National Sports Hall of Fame Foundation in 2005. And you can see it says loan. That money was used to pay for this feasibility analysis. But was this study ever put to good use? We'll have more on that later. First, though, let's take another look at this loan agreement. And right here it says repayment is contingent upon, which essentially means depends on the Hall of Fame receiving permanent financing. Well, that's not likely to happen now. So what happens next?
CBS 21 News tried to speak with John Lavenda, the president of the National Sports Hall of Fame Foundation, and once again, he did not respond to my request for an interview. We then went to Stephen Reed, who authorized the loan, not as the mayor of Harrisburg, but as an officer of the Hall of Fame. And he told me flat out, that loan is not going to be paid back.
It's obviously not going to be paid if the National Sports Hall of Fame doesn't get built, and at this point it's pretty certain that it won't be built, so it doesn't get repaid.
Does that trouble you? That
it's wasted money.
You heard right. He said
it's wasted money.
Wasted money. But later, Reed justified this loan.
You spend a certain amount of money to bring those projects to the point of proceeding with construction. 95% of the time we're successful.
And what about that pricey feasibility study? Was that money well spent? The initial study cost more than $25,000, according to this tax return. And the Hall spent another $8,600 2 years later, in 2007, for an updated one. That's more than $33,000. And remember the reaction from Mr. Lavenda when we first told him his idea of forming partnerships with other halls of fame had already been done by a museum in New York?
I just can't imagine that type of agreement existing with those halls of fame.
He should not have been surprised. CBS 21 News has found that information in the original feasibility study, the one from 2005.
He had no idea what I was talking about, yet it was sitting right in that original feasibility study.
He had no idea what you were talking about?
He had no idea what I was talking about.
Well, I assume that he read the report. He certainly should have. Let me put it that way.
Well, I talked with the current director of the Harrisburg Redevelopment Authority. He was not in charge when this loan was issued. He told me the authority doesn't typically do loans like this one. The authority normally deals with bonds and grants. We also asked Mayor Reed in a follow-up email if the city would consider suing the Hall of Fame to get its money, but we never heard back. We'll keep asking, though. Then again, we crunched the numbers, and CBS 21 News believes the Hall of Fame Foundation is about $20,000, I should say, $20,000 in debt. Jason Bristol, CBS 21 News.
Thank you, Jason. You can see the entire award-winning Sports Hall of Fame investigation. Just log on to CBS21.com. Last night's story on the National Sports Hall of Fame project has drawn some serious reaction from those running for mayor of Harrisburg. Tonight, CBS 21 News Sports Director Jason Bristol leads our award-winning investigation further. He's here live in the studio with our continuing coverage. Jason, what are you hearing?
We're hearing major criticism. One of the Democratic candidates for mayor, Les Ford, tells CBS 21 News that he will go to Dauphin County DA Ed Marsico next week and ask him to open a formal investigation into the National Sports Hall of Fame Foundation and its dealings with the city of Harrisburg. In a statement sent to CBS 21 News, Ford went on to say that, quote, glib statements such as those made by Mayor Reed about wasted money reflect his disconnect with the community of real people whose hard work creates the real dollars that fund our projects. We need accountability, and we need it now. Republican candidate Nevin Minlin, just as forceful, quote, this story discloses yet another sad example about a pattern of city mismanagement. The mayor had money taken out of the Harrisburg Authority for artifacts when our infrastructure and incinerator were collapsing. Now we find that money was taken out of the Redevelopment Authority for an ill-advised museum. As for Linda Thompson, who's been a major critic of the Hall of Fame from the beginning, CBS 21 News tried contacting her today, but we didn't hear back. Jason Bristol, CBS 21 News.
And remember, you can always see the entire award-winning national... All right, thank you. Well, hey, like a lineman ready to say sack the quarterback, a Harrisburg mayoral candidate is staring down the National Sports Hall of Fame project and Mayor Stephen Reed. And it's all because of our investigation. CBS 21 News Sports Director Jason Bristol joins us now live. And Jason, what does this candidate want?
Mike, Les Ford wants a formal investigation done into the National Sports Hall of Fame and the $100,000 loan it got from the city's redevelopment authority in 2005, a loan Mayor Reed told me won't be paid back. Today, Ford went to Dauphin County DA Ed Marsico with that request. He also gave CBS 21 News a copy of the letter as well. Ford questions the relationship between Mayor Reed and the Hall, since Mayor Reed is also an officer with the Hall of Fame Foundation. Ford writes, I am asking today that you, Mr. Marsico, begin a formal investigation of these transactions and relationships, and that you make the inquiry public and transparent. We, the citizens and taxpayers of Harrisburg, deserve this. We must develop civic habits where good government stands as the centerpiece. Now, Les Ford is hoping for some kind of response from Mr. Marsico. We received the letter after business hours, so CBS 21 News will try and contact the DA tomorrow. You can read the letter for yourself. It's posted on CBS 20.